Okari nasai minasan, and welcome back to another Sukitte Games video. Kyou wa Blade to Soul o shitte imasu. So we're back here with another game called Blade and Soul, and it recently came out here in the West, and I've been absolutely loving this game. I've literally been binge playing on this MMO for a while. I'm currently level 17 as a summoner. So today I'm just going to bring you some summoner gameplay, some tips and tricks, and things that I found out. So hopefully you will go off there and actually experience it yourself. So minasan, hajimashou. So the summoner class is actually very easy to use, which is one of the reasons why as a beginner player you would want to start off with a summoner and nothing complicated like the Kung Fu Master or the Assassin. Only just so you can get a grasp of the game, get a grasp of the combat issues and whatnot. But again, summoner classes is one of the easiest classes to play in the game. I also find that summoner classes actually have the best AoE abilities, which I'll show you in a minute, because there's 3 AoE skills that you can do. You can lay down heavy damage, heal yourself up quite quickly, and get heaps of kills straight away. Next to the next class with a good AoE is the Destroyer, but I'll show you some AoE examples with the Summoner. As you can see, the Summoner class is the only class with a little pet. In this case, you can only choose with different types of cats. I don't know if they'll change it in the future, but yeah, it's the only class with the Lin race which allows you to choose pets. Which again is very useful if you worry about losing health. You can send in your pet to do all the damage and then come back and destroy them from afar. That's one of the great advantages of Summoner. So I'll show you a little bit of the AoE ability. So we can get all of these players. As you can see, I'm taking damage, but you'll notice that when I use one of my AoE abilities, I will heal back up straight away. So let's grab them all. Okay, let's grab them all. Alright. Lay this down. Lay that down. Lay this down. And as you can see, you completely melt them away. Now, it wasn't a great example, but I'll show you a move now that will actually heal all your health back up quite easily, and that's Doom and Bloom. See how my health is now back up to HP? That's because the actual skill itself heals you, which is one of the great things about Summoner classes. You don't have to necessarily worry about your health too much, because A, you got your pet's health, but you also got that one skill called Doom and Bloom, which heals you straight back up. Alright, let's do another AoE. Let's get all these guys on us. Come on. Just heal yourself up with Doom and Bloom. Boom, 100% health. Lay them down on there. And they're all dead. Very, very simple. So you actually got 3 different AoEs with this class. You got Doom and Bloom, which also absorb damage, but also gives you a little bit of health, but does a lot of AoE damage. You also have another skill called Grasping Roots. This actually roots your enemy, but also inflicts damage. You can then chain combo this with Briar Patch, which is another AoE damage. So you can see, you start off with Doom and Bloom, get your HP back, start doing the AoE damage, DOT over time. Then you put down Grasping Roots to lock all of the enemies into the one area. Then you chain that with Briar Patch to do a little bit more damage, and if you still need a little bit more AoE, you have another skill called Petal Storm, which again does another AoE damage, but it also blocks and parries all range attacks and everything like that. If you personally like the one-on-ones with traditional MMOs, the Summoner also has great one-on-one attacks. So you simply just send in your pet, do your couple basic attacks, then do your spear second attack, and boom, they're down. You just simply melt them away. Now, I am much higher. I'm 5 levels above these monsters, but when I was at level 12, level 11, I just had simply easiest time with this class. So, right click that, send in your pet in, break them down, boom, they're dead. They just simply melt away, which is again why the Summoner class is an easy class to use. So let's do another AoE. Let's collect all of these monsters and do another AoE attack. So Summoner class is definitely primarily a range class. You can get right up into the face and start using some of your AoE damage if you prefer. But I've been having so much fun with this class. It's been really easy to level and just to really start getting to know how this whole gameplay works. Doom and Bloom, streak them down, needle, and they're just melting away. It's very, very simple. Good thing about Doom and Bloom is, as you can see, my pet's health is low, so if I can heal him up with the cost of my own health. So it's 20% to about 10% of my own health. But, as you can see, my health is now being drained, but I can just use Doom and Bloom again and gain all of that health back, and you're fine. And then you can go back in and heal up your pet for another 20%. So that's one of the great things about these classes. It's very self-reliant. One of the most important things you have to know, especially if you're playing in Australia, is the latency issues with attacks. That is the lag between each of attack. Here it is a bit of a problem. The ping isn't that well, which is why, again, I would recommend the Summoner, because you're not reliant on counter abilities like the Kung Fu Master or the Blade Master. You can simply attack in range, and if you do have bad lag, you should still be fine with it. If you are having a bit of latency issues, there are some forums online you can check out to improve that. I personally just went to the task manager and increased the priority of the game, so it's actually maximized. If you are on Windows 10 or later, you just simply say maximize instead of priority. So that, for me, helped with a bit of latency issues. Also, you could just drop down the quality of the game if you're having a little bit of trouble. So again, this is just simple gameplay with the Summoner. It's very, very simple, and which is why you just absolutely melt all of the players. And again, you're at 100% HP, and these sponsors actually hit quite hard. So if you go up here, they do hit quite hard, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute. 1 minute. So I'm at 100%. Wait, each attack. It's not even attacking me. Wait a minute. Okay, so each attack does 6% damage compared to what you would normally do. But again, just use Doom and Bloom, boom, 100%, and you can deal AoEs, and they just start and melt away. So simple. So if you are new to the game, and if you are looking for some easy gameplay, some simple gameplay, I would definitely recommend the Summoner. It has been my favorite class out of them all. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Again, it's only limited to the Ling class, and they're the class with the ears and the tail. So that's something you may have to consider if you don't like the small chibi or the siscon or whatever you want, lolicon or whatever you want to call it. But no, I think it's definitely one of the best classes out there. So I'm gonna shut up for a little bit. Just show you a little bit of the gameplay. If you like it, enjoy it. It's up to you. So started there. I'm gonna shut up a little bit.
do that right now. A dynamic quest has begun.
Hi, minasan, koka de owarimasu. So tell me what you think about the class. I did notice a bit of latency issues when I was playing, but that's because my computer's trying to run the recording program while trying to maximize this. So that's a little bit understandable on my end. Hopefully it didn't affect you too much. So again, I really enjoy the Summoner class. I think it's a great class to begin with in Blade and Souls, especially when you're trying to figure everything out. And most importantly, if you do have lag issues, it's one of those classes where it's not so reliant on ping. Obviously ping is important, but it's not that important with the Summoner, only because you are able to send your pet in, attack it, then use Doom and Bloom to heal yourself back up if you're having a bit of troubles. There are forums online if you are having a bit of problems like that, but it should be fine. Again, that's my little overview with the Summoner. Not much of an overview, but a little gameplay on my Summoner. So tell me what you think. For those in the know, I've recently just brought up my Facebook page, so go check that out. I'll put a link in the description. So, それでは皆さんここで終わります。また明日